Beyond the glitz, glamour, and flashing cameras, Hollywood harbors a shadowy undercurrent, a place where charm is often a facade, and the real personalities behind the red carpet smiles tell a different story. This video exposes 20 Hollywood stars who have been called out for their unpleasant behavior, their brains ranging from diva demands to outright cruelty. Buckle up as we dive into some of the industry's most surprising reputations. Maroon 5's frontman Adam Levine may be a hitmaker, but his off-screen personality has rubbed many the wrong way. On The Voice, Levine's relationship with co-star Blake Shelton soured when he loudly declared he hated Shelton, a statement met with an uncomfortable silence. While some initially thought he was joking, his continued deadpan demeanor left the room tense. Levine's crude humor, dismissive attitude, and aloofness with fans and colleagues alike have led many to consider him one of the meanest figures in pop culture. Lea Michele's portrayal of strong-willed characters off-screen wasn't just acting. Her Glee co-star Samantha Ware accused her of bullying and microaggressions that made her experience on the show traumatic. Michele's response during the Black Lives Matter movement, in which she posted a message of support, was called out as hypocritical. She lost her HelloFresh sponsorship and faced further backlash after being accused of mocking restaurant staff and refusing to pay for items she found unsatisfactory. Russell Crowe may have an Oscar, but he also has a reputation for having a massive ego. He once insulted George Clooney by calling him a sellout and a Frank Sinatra wannabe. On the set of Gladiator, he called a producer at 3 a.m. threatening to kill him. His erratic behavior includes demanding script rewrites, storming off sets, and publicly berating colleagues. Crowe's difficult nature has earned him the nickname Celebrity Douchebag by some insiders. The reality TV star Jesse James faced immense public backlash for cheating on Sandra Bullock with tattoo artist Kat Von D, all while the couple was in the process of adopting a child. His lack of remorse and continued infidelity led to the collapse of his relationship with Von D as well. His betrayal, coupled with a string of unapologetic behaviors, permanently damaged his public image. Supermodel Naomi Campbell is known for her beauty and runway prowess, but also for her temper. She has been convicted of assault 4 times and accused 11 times. Notably, she once threw a phone at a maid in a fit of rage. Campbell's violent outbursts and disrespect towards staff have overshadowed her career, painting a picture of someone whose off-camera actions are anything but glamorous. While his roles in Meet the Parents and Zoolander are beloved, Ben Stiller's off-screen behavior tells a different story. He's been reported to throw tantrums, including flipping over a script before an awards ceremony. He allegedly once made his assistant stand in a parking space to prevent others from using it and reportedly fired a staff member over the sweetness of his coffee. Even the number of ice cubes in his Diet Coke has been a cause for complaint. Despite her charitable image, Oprah has faced scrutiny. When she launched a Maui wildfire relief fund, many criticized her for asking average people to donate instead of using her own billionaire resources. Her property ownership in Maui and perceived disconnect with affected residents fueled suspicion. She's also been accused of spreading misinformation on vaccines and being rude to staff and audience members, showing a contrast between her public image and private conduct. Leto's Oscar-winning talent is often overshadowed by disturbing behavior. During Suicide Squad, he allegedly sent a dead rat to Margot Robbie, bullets to Will Smith, and used condoms to other castmates. Fans describe him as dismissive and cold at meet and greets, with one fan noting he rudely dismissed a compliment. He is also known to throw tantrums on set over minor issues, reinforcing the perception of him as egotistical and hard to work with. Tobey Maguire, known as Spider-Man, reportedly becomes hostile when fans approach him for autographs or photos. Molly Bloom, in her memoir, described him as the worst poker guest, stingy with tips despite massive winnings. He once demanded Bloom bark like a seal for an $11,000 chip, highlighting his arrogance and sense of superiority. Despite her success, Rihanna has earned criticism for being aloof and dismissive. Staff report that she often ignores them entirely. In one infamous case, she bullied a 16-year-old girl on Twitter who wore an outfit inspired by Rihanna's style to prom. Her actions drew wide condemnation and painted her as narcissistic and entitled. While Julia Roberts charmed audiences as America's sweetheart, her behavior on set says otherwise. On the set of Hook, she reportedly isolated herself in her trailer, arrived late to shoots, and disrupted production. The crew nicknamed her Tinker Hell because of her uncooperative demeanor. These behind-the-scenes antics contrast sharply with her public image. Once praised for her message of kindness, Ellen DeGeneres' workplace was revealed to be toxic. Employees accused her of fostering an environment where mistreatment was normalized. She reportedly sent staff home for body odor and discouraged any monologues she didn't approve of. A comedian even claimed Ellen tried to have her fired from a waitress job over chipped nail polish. James Corden has been labeled rude and entitled by multiple accounts. He was banned from a New York restaurant for being the most abusive customer they had seen in 25 years. Even after apologizing, other reports emerged of him yelling at staff, including a busboy, and acting aggressively when challenged by a friend to calm down. Despite her public image, J.Lo reportedly avoids talking to service staff directly. One flight attendant said she had her assistant order her drink. A Las Vegas restaurant manager recalled Ben Affleck tipping a server generously, only for Lopez to grab the money and say, "Hell no." These incidents support claims that she treats workers with disdain. Known for his role in 24, Sutherland has faced multiple DUI arrests. Co-star Freddie Prinze Jr. said working with him was so difficult, he almost quit acting. Others have echoed this sentiment, describing him as unprofessional and hard to manage on set. Despite his comedic reputation, Will Ferrell has drawn criticism for mocking fans asking for autographs. According to Autograph magazine, he often taunts and dismisses admirers. Crew members have described him as quick-tempered and verbally abusive over minor issues. Jamie Foxx's behavior on In Living Color included cruel pranks. Co-star Tommy Davidson said Fox ripped his underwear off on set, leaving him exposed. Fox challenged him to a fight afterward, showing a competitive and mean streak that left many offended. Megan Fox's comparison of Michael Bay to Hitler in an interview led to her being fired from Transformers. Bay said Spielberg insisted on the firing, though Spielberg denied involvement. Crew members criticized Fox in an open letter, calling her ungrateful and difficult. During an interview, Eisenberg ridiculed host Romina Puga, calling her the carrot top of interviewers. He mocked her questions and pointed out she wrote them on her hand. Though he later claimed he was joking, Puga described the experience as humiliating. David Boreanaz was sued for sexual harassment by an extra on Bones who said he sent inappropriate texts and made advances. The case was dismissed, but it added to his poor reputation. He also cheated on his pregnant wife, Jaime Bergman, damaging his image as a family man. These stories remind us that fame doesn't always mean character. Whether it's diva behavior, mistreatment of staff, or arrogance with fans, these celebrities have shown a side far from their polished public image. Let us know which star surprised you the most in the comments. Like, subscribe, and stay tuned for more Hollywood revelations.
Hi, my name is Prince Michael Jackson, and I love my daddy. And I'm Daddy's baby, and I love my daddy.
Singing well to me and wishing them home. What day is today?
Huh?
What day is today?
Today is December 25th.
What's special about December 25th?
It's Christmas.
Exactly. What does Christmas mean?
Love and spending time with family.
Blanket, what does Christmas mean?
Love,
Love what?
family.
Your family. Who's your family?
Behind the masks and veils, beyond the fantasy world of Neverland Ranch, 3 children grew up in the shadow of pop music's most controversial icon. But what's the real story of Prince, Paris, and Biggie Jackson in 2025? The privilege, the pain, the scrutiny, the struggle. Today, we're peeling back the curtain on what it really means to inherit the legacy of Michael Jackson. You think you know their story, but the truth is far more complex than the headlines suggest. These aren't just celebrity kids, they're survivors of a childhood no one could possibly prepare for. Michael Jackson's death in 2009 wasn't just a cultural earthquake. It was a personal apocalypse for 3 children who suddenly lost not just a father, but their entire world. Prince was 12, Paris was 11, and Biggie, then known as Blanket, was just 7 years old. What followed was a childhood unlike any other. The transition from Neverland's private amusement park to living with their grandmother, Katherine Jackson, marked the beginning of a painful journey into the public eye. Imagine losing your father and your home in one devastating blow. And let's remember what Neverland was. Not just a house, but an entire ecosystem designed by Michael to create a magical childhood. Private amusement rides, a zoo, movie theaters, a fantasy land that disappeared overnight. For Paris especially, that journey nearly ended in tragedy. By age 15, she had attempted suicide multiple times, struggling with depression, addiction, and relentless online bullying. The public watched as this young girl's pain played out on social media, often with cruel commentary accompanying every post. Paris revealed in past interviews how she gained a lot of weight after her father's death, saying food became an addiction. The therapeutic boarding school in Utah where she was sent was later exposed for abusive practices, something Paris herself has spoken out against alongside other survivors like Paris Hilton. Even now, at 26, Paris carries the psychological scars of growing up under constant surveillance. She's described experiencing audio hallucinations of camera clicks and severe paranoia, classic symptoms of PTSD from years of paparazzi pursuit. Simple sounds like a trash bag rustling can trigger panic attacks, but the Jackson children have shown remarkable resilience. Paris transformed her pain into creativity, establishing herself as a musician, model, and actress. Her journey from that broken 11-year-old at her father's memorial service to the confident artist she is today is nothing short of extraordinary. Her 2020 debut album, Wilted, and subsequent releases like The Lost EP deliberately veered away from her father's pop sound, embracing indie folk and alternative rock influences. Critics initially dismissed her as riding on her father's fame, but her distinct sound, influenced by artists like Nirvana and the Pixies, has earned respect in its own right. On her father's birthday celebration in 2023, Paris performed an emotional tribute, acknowledging that he had put in 50 years of blood, sweat, and tears so she could stand on that stage. Her engagement to Justin Long in late 2024 suggests she's building a stable personal life as well, though the media scrutiny around their relationship has been predictably intense. Prince, now 27, chose a different path. While he dabbled in acting with appearances on shows like 90210, his true passion emerged in philanthropy and production. He once joked he didn't get the dancing gene from his father, but he certainly inherited Michael's humanitarian spirit. He founded Heal Los Angeles, directly inspired by his father's Heal the World ethos, and his King's Son Productions company has been steadily growing. During the pandemic, his meal delivery services garnered positive attention, showing business acumen alongside genuine compassion. His relationship with Molly Sherman, ongoing since 2017, has provided stability amid the chaos of his public life. And then there's Biggie, formerly known as Blanket, the most private of the three siblings. That infamous balcony incident when he was just 9 months old marked the beginning of a complicated relationship with fame. Bullied mercilessly about his nickname, he changed it to Biggie in 2015, a small act of reclaiming his identity. At 22, he's recently emerged as a promising filmmaker, with his short film Rochelle's winning Best Drama at the Santa Monica Film Festival in 2024. This success was particularly meaningful to his siblings. Prince proudly posted about the win online, showcasing their continued support for each other's individual paths. Biggie's interest in science fiction and environmental activism has also become more public. In a rare 2021 interview with Good Morning Britain, he spoke passionately about climate change, showing a thoughtful nature that belies his young age and limited public exposure. But the darkness of their story continues behind closed doors. Legal battles over the estate have created tension within the family. The Jackson siblings navigate a complex inheritance, both financial and emotional. When Biggie challenged his grandmother's $500,000 legal fee request, it revealed his determination to protect his father's estate, valued in the hundreds of millions. Perhaps their greatest challenge has been reconciling their daddy with the public's perception, especially after leaving Neverland deeply affected Prince. Yet their bond remains unshakable. Prince describes them as just equals supporting each other, while Paris speaks of being raised like twins with a telepathic bond including Biggie. Each honors Michael differently, Prince through philanthropy, Paris through art, Biggie through filmmaking, while establishing their own identities beyond being Michael Jackson's children. Paris proudly identifies as Black, acknowledging her father immersed them in African American culture, adding another dimension to their multicultural journey. And rumors about biological parentage have followed them, particularly Prince. The tabloids have been merciless in questioning whether Michael was his biological father. His response speaks volumes about their maturity. What difference does it make to someone who's not involved in my life? It doesn't change mine. Imagine having strangers debate your parentage online, in magazines, on television. The Jackson children have endured invasions of privacy that would break many adults, yet they've maintained a remarkable dignity throughout. Looking ahead to the remainder of 2025, all three siblings will likely be involved with the upcoming biopic starring their cousin, Jafar Jackson. The film represents yet another opportunity to shape the narrative around their father's complicated legacy. How they choose to engage with this project may reveal much about how they see their role as custodians of Michael's artistic contributions. The musical adaptations of Michael's work continue to tour globally, and the siblings have supported these endeavors, appearing at premieres and speaking about the importance of preserving their father's artistic vision. This suggests a gradual healing, an ability to celebrate their father's talent while processing their personal loss. So, what's the dark truth behind Michael Jackson's kids? It's that there is no single truth, just extraordinary privilege mixed with unimaginable pressure. Despite growing up under constant scrutiny, each has forged their own path while honoring their father's legacy of constant improvement. From the ashes of Neverland, they've built new lives. Prince in production, Paris in music, Biggie in film. In 2025, their greatest achievement isn't surviving their father's fame, but thriving despite it.
The 1986 album Control that she struck gold.
Janet Jackson finally reveals shocking secrets about Michael's life that the world never knew. Janet claimed that Michael forced her to help him fake his death. What really happened behind the scenes of his fame and struggles? Why Michael want to fake his death? This will change everything you thought you knew. Let's take a closer look.
When I was 7, I don't ever remember being asked. I just remember doing it. As far as making music, we had a studio at home growing up, and whatever time of night, day, couldn't sleep at night, you'd go in the studio and you'd just create music, put something down if you had an idea.
Before we move forward, let's go back to where it all started. In the small town of Gary, Indiana, 1958, the Jackson story began in a tiny 2-bedroom house where dreams were as big as their family. Michael Jackson grew up with 9 brothers and sisters, all squeezed into a home where music played from morning until night. Their mother spent her days playing clarinet and piano, holding onto her own dreams of becoming a country singer. Joe, their father, worked hard as a crane operator and had been a boxer, skills that showed in his tough approach to raising his children. The house may have been small, but it was always filled with sound, singing, dancing, and the constant practice that would one day make the Jacksons famous. Every corner of their home held memories of early performances, shared dreams, and the strict discipline that shaped their future. Growing up as a Jackson meant living a very different life from other kids in Gary. While neighborhood children played games and went to school, the Jackson children spent hours practicing their singing and dancing. Their father Joe made sure they never wasted a minute. Every spare moment was spent rehearsing. The family's tight living space meant there was no privacy, but it also created strong bonds between the siblings. They shared everything: clothes, toys, and the dream of something bigger than their small town could offer. Music wasn't just something they did for fun. It was their whole life, their ticket to a better future, and the thing that kept them together through hard times. Joe's strict rules and harsh punishments became a dark cloud that hung over their childhood memories. By 1963, the Jackson 5 had started performing at local talent shows, with 5-year-old Michael already showing signs of being a natural star.
Creeping up on the backside of you here. Kip, I've got a little bit of a problem with this microphone. It's all snagged in the back, so I'm going to take this one if that's all right with you. Would you make a fast change? Hello, hello. How about that? I'll put this over here. It's one of these formal shows where we do everything. Would you be kind enough to introduce me to your brothers, starting with the gentleman on the end with, is it a bass or a guitar? Can't see. Guitar.
Guitar. Okay, first we have
Can I get with you on the mic just every now and again, you know?
Toriano Jackson,
It's nice to see you. Who's the man over here?
Marlon,
Hi. And the next man?
and Jackie,
Hello, Jack.
Jermaine.
Hi. Now, let me ask you a question. I'm going to steal it. I feel very naked without a microphone. I've been holding one of these things, punching it at people for a long time. Two gentlemen in the back are not your brothers, though they're related, are they not?
Right.
The little boy with the big voice and amazing dance moves quickly became the center of attention. They performed in clubs where children shouldn't have been allowed, staying up late into the night when they should have been sleeping. Janet remembers watching her older brother work harder than anyone else, always trying to please their father. The spotlight became Michael's home, but it also became his prison. He never experienced normal childhood things. No playing in the park, no casual friendships, no time to just be a kid. Instead, he lived under the constant pressure of performing, always having to be perfect, always having to be on.